Hello, I'm Richard Mize, real estate editor for the Oklahoman and newsok.com. I'm talking with Bob Sullivan. He's the broker owner and CEO of NAI Sullivan Group, a commercial real estate company here in Oklahoma City. And we're talking today about kind of an unusual long-term relationship that Bob's had with the Oklahoma City Public School District and the disposition of several properties. So Bob, could you talk about how you got into this relationship with him in the first place and when and just kind of how it came about?
You bet. The school district traditionally would declare properties surplus, and then they would go out and market those properties themselves, generally through running printed ads. And what happened with that is that it didn't get a lot of coverage, or they just didn't have a lot of people that would see the ads to really even know that the schools were for sale, which was their surplus property. And they were looking for a different way to do that. I got involved with them about 5 years ago, and through our marketing we're able to put all of the properties up on the internet, of course market it across the country. Most of the properties are very specialized in what you can do with them, and it has worked real well for us over the last few years.
So the big difference is the school system brought you in to market these properties like any other commercial property, rather than just hanging signs, for sale signs that lets
That's correct.
that has them for sale. Talk a little more about how it works. What did you do?
Well, what we discovered in the process that we went through is properties like Page Woodson were in a district that would be eligible for tax credits. Since it was a property that was on the historical tax records, there were certain federal and state monies available as tax incentives to develop the property. And once we began to market that property as a tax credit opportunity, then we worked with really developers all across the country. We had at least a dozen developers that contacted us to look at that property.
So that's a specialized market. It's a targeted market with those federal attachments to it. I suppose it's a challenge. It presents challenges as well as opportunities, though, correct?
Challenges in that it restricts you with what you can do with the property and how you can develop it, but opportunities that makes it very economically feasible to do.
Could you name them? Name the ones we're talking about here, the schools.
Sure. The Page Woodson School is the one that has the highest use, I think, and it's being redeveloped now into housing, and then surrounding properties through a joint venture, I think, with Urban Renewal is also going to offer affordable housing.
We've got Adair and Parker Elementaries as well.
Parker Elementary is in northeast Oklahoma City, very near Luther and Spencer.
Which one is Dick Tannenbaum redeveloping?
And he is developing the old John Marshall High School at 94th and University. They just recently leveled that to begin their redevelopment, which I believe is going to be, well, I know it's going to be housing.
Mm-hmm. Now, the last bunch of them were put under contract in August of 2013, you told me earlier.
Right.
And it only closed last month.
Right.
That's a long time.
It took 19 months to close that property. And again, they were in high demand. We had 4 offers on a portion of the same properties. We put it under contract with a developer that would take all 4 properties. So we had 2 properties that were very less desirable, the ones out in northeast Oklahoma City, just because they were remote. There wasn't a lot around them economically. And then 2 very desirable properties, the one being Dunbar, which was in the JFK district, south of Presbyterian Hospital area. And then the Gatewood School out on Britton Road had about 3.5 acres with it and a 21,000 square foot school. So he took all 4 of them. Because they were bundled and you had to close on all 4, each one of them had certain challenges, and it was just a methodical process of working through vacating easements and the challenges, title challenges that they all had.
It's almost 4 separate tracks of due diligence, isn't it?
It is.
It's 4 deals.
Right.
It just enveloped into one transaction.
And one of the biggest items was just the asbestos situation, especially with Dunbar. Dunbar and Gatewood also. Issues, problems, costs, and just working through that process.
Now, you've been in the business quite a while. Is there anything from this experience that you've written down? You know, going forward, I know now because I've gone through a certain obstacle or challenge that you'll take forward with you from this.
Well, whenever I was in the restaurant business, it would have been, don't do this again. But as far as these schools go, I think it's just working through the title work a little bit faster and quicker, really looking at what the very specific challenges are for zoning. Zoning is always an issue. It was certainly a learning process, as in commercial real estate, every property is very unique and very different. These presented those specific challenges as to the fact that these properties have been in a single use since the early 1900s. So nothing has changed on those properties over the period of time. And then you had to go back and fix all of the problems that have occurred to it over these periods of time.
What one deal was your favorite? Did you have a favorite?
I did.
For whatever reasons?
Page Woodson. I loved that property. I thought it had a lot of character.
We're looking at it.
That is the school. You wouldn't think that, I mean, just from looking at that, it's certainly one that's dilapidated and had a lot of issues. I would have developed that myself had I had the expertise. But I was really thrilled to see the owners get a hold of that because they're going to do it right.
It's in good hands.
It'll be a great project. It sure will.
Anything to add?
No, I have enjoyed the working with the school system. Challenges with, you know, they constantly change management and the board changes just through elections and all. But there's great people there, and they have a lot to give to the community.
Very good. Thank you, Bob Sullivan with NAI Sullivan Group. I'm Richard Mize, real estate editor with the Oklahoman.